some of the best advice I ever got from a spiritual teacher, one from one by the name of Salo Stanley. She said, sometimes you just gotta stop. You just gotta stop and eat some ice cream. And through talking about this lesson I've learned eating ice cream, I also wanted to talk to you today about the challenging subject of forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is a big subject, and you've got all kinds of different points of view on it, and everyone's got something to say about it. We're not going to be able to cover every aspect of it, but what I wanted to do today was share with you my perspective on forgiveness, the lessons that I've learned through my life. The journey of forgiveness for me has been a challenging one, and I started off as a person who's like, you're dead to me. I wouldn't necessarily say that to somebody, but would be how I would feel inside. So essentially I was a person who would hold grudges and would not forgive because I felt there were certain things that were unforgivable. And as I've grown up and got a little older now, I have a different perspective on it. And so I wanted to share that with you, and hoping that it would be something that would perhaps get you to think about forgiveness in a different way, and definitely be a conversation starter about the subject for you. And you know what? She's so right. So for me, there are 4 different roads we can take when it comes to forgiveness. And I'm just going to speak in general terms here. The first choice we have is what I would describe to be a casualty of the event or what's occurred. The second choice we have is to go down the road of taking revenge. The third choice we have is to seek what I would describe as conditional forgiveness. And then the last road we can take is perhaps the most challenging one, which is the unconditional forgiveness. I wonder how many people, after watching me do this, will go to their fridge and buy an ice cream. I'm just saying. Now, with each one of those 4 choices, there's obviously pros and cons to it. Sometimes we don't have any choice to how we feel, but I do feel that we do have a choice in terms of moving forward after the shock of the event. We do have a choice in how we perceive what's happened to us, and how we're going to move forward from it. So with the first one, to be a casualty of it, I mean, that's how we all are when we are betrayed or when something unfortunate has been done to us. And so you're shell-shocked, you're dazed and confused. Some people get stuck there and can't move forward, and the expression "stuck in a moment you can't get out of." And so it's kind of like, and they're just spinning round and round, being the casualty of what's occurred. And sometimes that's a process. Sometimes we have to work through emotions and the feelings we have to get out from there. And sometimes as we're working through that can lead us to revenge. Now, other people go straight to revenge. It's also a very understandable response. When people have done you wrong, you feel angry, you feel betrayed, and so you want to get back at them. Then the problem becomes, though, that people can become so obsessed with getting revenge and getting back at somebody that it can almost take over their whole life. And then really, in the end of the day, when you do get back at the person, if you can, does it really help you move forward? That's a great question. No, not now. I'm busy. Then you have what I'm describing as conditional forgiveness. Now, that's basically where you're saying to the person, well, I'll forgive you if you do X, Y, and Z. Now, even if the person does do X, Y, and Z, is that really going to make you feel better? Is it really going to deal with, are you not still going to be feeling angry inside? Is it really dealing with it? Another interesting question. which I'm sure you'll all have different points of view on. Then there is the final choice, which is a very difficult one, and that is to choose to unconditionally forgive. Which is to say, I know I forgive you, you're human, you made the decision out of fear or whatever other decision because of your own traumas that you have in your life, and so that really has nothing to do with me, so I'm just going to let it go and I'm going to move forward. To many of us, there are things that have occurred to us in our life that are unforgivable, so how could we possibly do that? It seems like it's a conundrum. Oh, text message. Oh, sorry, I'm busy. I'm on the call. So I'm doing a personal monologue in my acting class. And normally when you're doing a personal monologue, the idea is you're supposed to be living the story as you do it. And so you're experiencing or re-experiencing those stories that you've lived through before now that you're sharing. I was doing this one particular personal monologue, and when I was finished it, my acting coach said, "The person you're talking about, Hugh, I can't see them." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, normally, when you do personal monologues, you're experiencing it, you're going through it, but when you were going through it this time, we couldn't see the person you were talking about." And I was sitting there and I went, "That's because they're dead to me." And I just had this like wow moment of realization that they're literally dead to me. And so I'm just carrying around this grudge, so to speak, which is like a big heavy rock. And as if on the rucksack I have of experience, I'm just putting this big rock in there, or many big rocks into my rucksack, and carrying it up a hill, And is that really helping me? Sorry, not sorry. What? They're good. And in a way, I also felt, that by the person being dead to me, it's like I was trying to erase them, like they didn't exist. Whereas, they did. It happened. And so in a way, it's kind of like I felt, for me personally, it was kind of like a little bit of denial on my part of the person having been there and the experience having happened. Because when you go, "You're dead to me," it's just like you try to erase it, like it didn't happen, but it did. That was really good. Now, let me just tell you something. When you're eating an ice cream, think about this. You're not thinking about the bad things that happened in the past. You're not thinking about the future. You're in the now. You're in the moment. In the zone. That's why ice cream is so important, because it gets you to just be. Thank you, Salo. Thank you. Excellent advice. And for me, the ice cream lesson is directly connected to forgiveness, because that's what forgiveness is. It is just breathing, letting go of the past, letting go of the future, and just being in the moment. Because that's the problem, is if we don't forgive, then we're caught up in this kind of whirlwind of anger and bitterness, and sometimes it's completely justified that we feel that way. But I just realized that the only person that I was hurting by staying in that whirlwind was me. And the only person I was hurting, carrying around this backpack of all these different rocks of grudges that I had, was the only person that was being hurt by it was me. So by deciding to put down that rucksack, by deciding to just move forward and to lovingly and with grace forgive, I just want to thank you again for taking the time to watch my episodes. It really means a lot to me that you take the time to watch here. Hopefully it inspires you and gives you a different perspective on all the different things that we talk about. I have nothing but love for you.